Alright guys, we're going to start a new series called Let's Talk About Hunting. In this series, we're just going to sit here and talk about different things when it's hunting time. The first topic I want to talk about is the rut. Everybody knows the rut, what the deers do during the rut. Here, like I said, I'm here in Georgia, and about middle Georgia, and the census is with the GON magazine says every year around November the 9th, the week of November the 9th is peak rut. But I'm here to tell you that deers don't care about a calendar. That is the biggest discussion we have at the hunt camp about when is the rut, what day is the rut. I mean, nobody can actually put a date on it. The rut happens different times in different parts of the hunting season. I mean, our hunting season starts like September, the middle of September, and ends like the middle of January. So, like I said, the deers don't know what day of the week it is or day of the month it is. They just know when Mother Nature's telling them it's time for the rut, they start rutting. So the biggest misconception that I have with it is the week of November, the first week of November, normally, like I said, around the 9th or so, everybody takes, put their time in for get off work and they week vacation for they can hunt all week of that week. But like I said, sometimes, like especially this year, I was trying to tell everybody that I seen deers, because I run a lot of cameras. I run almost 10 cameras during the hunting season. Sometimes even more if I find something going on in different places, I want to put another camera. But I seen deers as early as the last week of October. I'm talking about around October the 20th. And they was chasing and so, but a lot of guys said, well, I took off for the 9th of November, that week that normally happens. No, it doesn't. Like I said, from that week of the last week of October, I seen more rut activity happening than the week of the 9th of November. So a lot of you guys might miss the peak rut thinking, just by a date on the calendar. And I just want to show you a couple of clips that I have from deers from, like I said, last week of October, chasing and just doing rut things. But when it comes to the week of the 9th, I don't have much on my camera showing any kind of rutting activity. The deers are, the bucks are running together, that type thing, which I know they don't do during rut time. But I just want to make sure everybody understands things happen. It could be from county to county instead of state to state. Like I said, we here around Sparta, Georgia, and we go into town around that 9th, November the 9th week, and talking to other hunters around they saying they seeing deers rutting, carrying on, chasing heavily, but over here where we at, the deers are not doing much. I think that, like I said, it goes from county to county. It could be rutting right next to your county, but your deers in your county is not doing anything. They've done rutting or they haven't rutted yet. So that brings up the point of pre-rut, rut, and post-rut. I know there's such a thing, but in my experience in my area, I don't see much of that. Pre-rut normally is the time when the small bucks start chasing the does around the food plot, that type thing, just getting practice of when they get big they can do the rutting thing because they see all the other big bucks run the does around and that type thing. But when it's rut time, the little bucks get out the way because the big bucks are running and they don't want to get caught messing around with the big bucks does. So when you see the little bucks running around, it might be pre-rut or post-rut, wherever you want to look at it, but when it's rut time, the big boys are going to run and the little bucks are going to get out the way. They're not going to be caught in the open messing around with some does. So look at it that way. When you on your food plot close to rut time and you see the little 2-pointers, the 4-pointers running does around, and you say, okay, they got some rutting activity. Okay, that's true. But if you don't see those little bucks looking back in the wood line, you know the big boys in the wood line looking at that little buck, and telling him, you know, leave my does alone. You're gonna make me come out there and do something to you. So but that's just my opinion. Like I said, all this is just my opinion for what I've seen, especially this year, because most of the time in the middle part of Georgia, like I said, we're in Sparta, Georgia, the rut is only that what we see, because we hunt on the weekends, maybe one weekend, maybe two. Like this week, this year, the rut, I seen like 3 weeks of solid rutting activity, and it was not even really cold, because most people think the cold weather actually kicks the rut on, which sometimes it does, but this year is a total different thing that I experienced, because like I said, I did kill a big buck this year, and if I got the date right, it was October the 29th, I believe. Yeah, I think it was October 20th, right around that area. It hadn't even got November yet, and that day, that morning, I seen 2 of the biggest bucks I have ever seen on that property. One was chasing does, and the other one was scraping and grunting and carrying on like he was, you know, in rut, but he didn't have any does to run around with. So, but the one I did take, like I said, he was just by himself, but the other one, he was chasing 2 does at one time. And even that same weekend, I seen something that I have never seen before. And rut time it was probably about a little 8-point buck chasing a doe. He ran right up under my deer stand. I mean, at full speed, fast as he could run, and it just ran right up under my deer stand. I couldn't even get my camera up to even photo it because they was going so fast, which I have never seen that. You know, I've seen them chase around and push them around, that type thing, but they was in full dead sprint when they came by my deer stand. And you know, that makes me think rut activity at that time was real heavy. I mean, you probably couldn't get any higher on the rut activity list. So, but you know, that's one of the things about the rut time, is making sure that you're in the woods when it's happening. So the invention of the cell cameras and just cameras in general help you out with that type thing, because if I didn't have the cameras in the woods, I wouldn't know what was going on in different parts of the property. I'd be looking at that date myself and say, okay, I'm waiting on October the 9th, November the 9th, trying to plan my hunting time around that day. But I knew just from camera footage and that type thing that the deer were already rutting, so I had to stay in the woods as long as I possibly could. When I first found out, which is around the last week of October, until, you know, not even a date, just until I start seeing deers not rut as much on my cameras. And don't get me wrong, we still seen rutting activity up till like the 3rd week in November. I mean, you know, you had some little bucks pushing does around, that type thing, but the big bucks, you know, they was done, sitting down, you know, not even moving around. And my cameras told me that, because normally I get a good stream, especially one spot I got a good stream of where the bucks travel coming in and out of the bedding area, which at that time, like the third week of November, I didn't see many bucks coming through, especially not the big bucks coming through that route going to the bedding area. All I seen was little 4-pointers, spikes, that type thing, going back and forth when the big bucks are sitting down. So that's one thing that you know, people don't really understand is, you know, when you don't see them, that don't mean the rut's not happening anymore. That just means the big bucks are done doing what they're gonna do, and it's time for the little bucks to get out and just run around. So if you want to try to kill the big bucks, you probably need to try to put you some cameras out and try to figure out what time of the year is they really trying to do it, because it changed from year to year. And like I said, the weather has a lot to do with it. You know, I don't think rain has anything to do with it. Cold weather might have something to do with it. And I don't get too much in the moon phases, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with it. I know it has something to do with when it's fishing time, so it has to have something to do with it when it's hunting time also. But I don't get too much into that. I might need to look in that more, but guys, I just want to know your opinion on that, because I mean, some people, you know, they look up and it's a full moon, the deers are running, and you know, they're walking all night, so in the morning you're not going to be able to see anything, which sometimes it happens that way. An old gentleman told me one day, when we coming into our hunt camp, there's a lot of farms on, you know, down the road from it, and you said if you see the cows up and eating, that means the deer's gonna be up and eating. You know, I tried to correlate that a couple times, you know, sometimes yeah, sometimes no, but I mean, that's just the train of thought that some people have, which is not bad, not, you know, that's just their opinion, though. And my opinion is just my opinion. But I want to know from you guys in your part of town, if you in, you know, out of state, up north or out west or that type thing, when is your rut, and do the rut change from year to year on date wise, you know, around it like over in Alabama, just right next to us, they rut time is end of January, which ours is beginning of November. So if they right next to us in the next state and they rut time is, you know, 2 months apart, what does the deers do that's in that buffer zone from wherever, you know, that time zone switches over? What do the deers rut? I mean, do they rut some in November, then they rut some in January, or what? I don't know. I mean, I want you guys to tell me. Like I said, this is just a series that we can just sit here and talk about it, you know, just anything you say is good to me. Like I said, this is just in my opinion, and we're gonna kick this off with this video. In the next video, we'll come up with a new topic. And another thing I want to start is doing some lives on YouTube. I haven't did a live yet, and I'm just waiting for the right time, which this time is now, because like I said, you can only hunt so much, and when you're a working man just like me, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are, most time you just have to be able to hunt on the weekend. And if you have a weekend trip and you don't see anything, it's hard to make a video about that. So I want to have something that we can just do when it's not any hunting time going on, or I'm just here at the house. I want to be able to talk to you guys and just provide some good content for you. So guys, like always, I appreciate you watching, and hopefully, like I said, I want to try to do some more teaching and bring more information to my channel and going to you. So if you can, make sure you comment, and everybody read the comments. You know, I don't know everything, which I've been hunting probably 35 years since I was about 15. So if you could do the math, you'd tell me how old I am. But I don't know if my chin tells the story, but I'm not a young spring chicken. So I've been around for a long time, you know, hunting different areas, different parts. of Georgia. I used to hunt a lot of times in Alabama, but I don't have any land to hunt in Alabama right now. But you guys can invite me to go over and hunt with you anytime you want to. But other than that, guys, I appreciate you watching, and make sure you check down in the description anything I have in the description. If you can support the channel, going to Amazon, that type thing, and buying stuff through my affiliate account, I appreciate that. But guys, to the next video, we out. Thanks for watching.